途中だよ。あんた状況分かってんのかよ。
嘘でしょ。何あれ。
OMG, Dax. So there's been some breaking news within the past hour in the Halloween fandom that has all of us shook. Do you want to guess what it is? It's like OMG.
A leak where this new Halloween Ends film is going to explore Michael's sexuality.
Yes, actually. His look has been leaked and he's just like a naked man running around. And he has like a giant beard of like pubes.
Ugh. Wait, no, aren't you just describing the guy that they murdered? The town murdered in Halloween Kills?
Oh yeah, I guess I am. That's I bet that guy did have a beard length long of pubes down there.
Probably.
I mean, who wouldn't looking like that?
It's not like they let him shave and I don't think they let razors in mental institutions.
Well, on a more serious note, there has recently been, very recently, within the past hour and a half, like I said, where a potential, like, a figure has leaked that shows what Michael Myers is going to look like in 2022's Halloween Ends, which comes out later this October. And I sent it to Dax before we started recording this. So he's already seen what it looks like.
My instant reaction was, this is just Michael from Halloween 2, but just with a shorter beard. I mean, I'm fine with it, honestly.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he actually looks pretty scary. I'm not going to lie.
It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Though, he's going to get the mask at some point.
Oh, yeah. But because that's what I was thinking, too, because how much in the first two movies he's like, he loves the mask and he's drawn to it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that it's just gone. Like, he'll get it, like, at some point, you know.
Mm.
That's what I was thinking.
Don't know what's going to happen to make him, like, this forest-dwelling vagrant. You know?
I know. I was thinking that, too, and the only thing I could think of is that maybe, like, they burned down the Myers house, and he just has nowhere to go. Yeah. Like the place that he always like goes back to is just gone. So now he's like, I'm just gonna live in the forest. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's one thing that's different. Like, in Rob Zombie's Halloween universe, I can understand him doing that. But in this trilogy, like, they're still going with like Michael is like this agent of chaos that is just like a never-ending murder machine, so it just doesn't seem likely that he would just kind of fuck off for a couple years.
I know, yeah, that's my thing too. And he seemed like pretty vindictive. I mean, in Halloween Kills, he seemed to remember like Allison and like when he killed her boyfriend Cameron. Yeah. That seemed like that was like revenge because they looked at her and did it. So yeah, it's weird that he would just drop in and just like fuck off for 4 years.
I mean, they literally like beat the shit out of him and he just came right back. Like, I know. Like unfazed.
Well, they could be like, maybe he goes away to like heal or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He's like, something I need a med kit.
Yeah, he has like 0.1 plus 0.1 healing per second. So he has to be away for a while. And he has like 2,000. Yeah, he has like 2,000 health, so it takes forever. You know?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you can. Yeah, if any of listeners out there want to find this image, I'm sure you can. I'm not going to edit it into the video because
it'll probably get taken down.
Yeah, the tweet that it was a part of has already been removed. And I think also what gives this thing more credence is that a leaker who like leaks everything, who is really reputable. His name's like Vieuranon on Twitter. He has a description of that exact look for Michael and that he allegedly has. So, I mean, it's probably real, especially since it already got taken down.
Yeah. Yeah, considering it got taken down immediately.
Yeah, because that had only been up for like less than an hour probably, and it's already gone. So, but yeah, I think we're both fine with that look. I mean, it looks kind of cool. He's got an axe on his shoulder, and he has like a giant ass butcher knife. Yeah.
Well, I know John Carpenter spoke. I guess he saw the movie, and he did say that it's very different from the other films.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's how it's different. I don't know.
I mean, if they do it right, it sounds like they're just gonna do Halloween 2 again. With just, Laurie and all the characters dealing with their shit. Meanwhile, Michael's just kind of doing whatever the hell he wants, and then we're gonna have a final confrontation.
And I'm fine with that. Like, I like the idea of Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I just feel like when you get down to the minutia of it, that's where it starts being like bad for me. I don't know.
Because we can agree to disagree.
I just don't think Michael Myers is done dirty in that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the thing that's unique about him is he doesn't have like an epic like backstory like Jason or Freddy. Like he's just like is like a kid who's just mentally disturbed. And then to like do that like weird mom thing like Jason, or he's like doing it for his mom and his family. I guess it makes sense in the context of Rob Zombie's. It makes sense in that universe. Movies. Yeah. Because they do a good job of setting up like how much his mom meant to him in the first one, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's just I'm a butthurt Halloween fan, and I only like Michael one way. I'm just stubborn.
I was like that until because I remember not liking the Rob Zombie movies at all, and then I rewatched them like 2 years ago, and I was like, oh shit, I actually love these. I think it was also in response to the more recent ones of just I'm getting tired of the same thing over and over again.
Right.
And I don't know.
No, that makes sense. I even like the first one up until it just becomes like a shot-for-shot remake of the first one.
Yeah.
That's where it gets boring for me.
See, I like it because I think Rob Zombie has so much of his own energy in it that it feels like just more raw and brutal.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. If I had to pick one Michael that I would not want to be like in a enclosed space with, it would be that version of him.
The giant, like 7-foot wrestler Michael.
Yeah, he's terrifying. He really is.
One thing that was funny, I'm on like season 6 of The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. And Chris is trying to run this like movie scheme where he's basically mixing like Saw and The Godfather. And he's like pitching it as like a slasher. And he's just like, he's gonna be up there with your Michael, your Freddy, and Jason. And then still one of the guys is just like, he's like, hold on a second. It's like, Michael Myers is an escaped mental patient. He's not supernatural. Jason and Freddy, whole other league. And I was like, oh my god, I can't believe Syl, this character in Sopranos, understands Michael more than 90% of the fandom. I was losing hilarious. My mind.
I've only just started watching Sopranos, but it's a great show so far.
I'm deep. I have like a season and a half left.
Oh my god. And
I'm gonna be a sad boy when it's over. But then that just means I'll just rewatch Mad Men or something again.
Mad Men's a good show too. I wish I didn't know how Sopranos ended.
I don't know how it ends, so don't say anything.
Okay, I've heard of it only because it's controversial and everyone is mad about it or whatever.
Oh.
So I've seen a clip of it or whatever.
I've learned if people are mad about an ending, it means I'm probably going to be like it or just be okay with it.
Some of them, I mean, sometimes I think people are right, but I think most of the time people are wrong. I don't know. It just depends on what it is. Because like I feel like what I saw was only the clip without watching any of the rest of the show. So I feel like it would make more sense in context. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the show is already pretty like cerebral. Like in this last season, there's been at least 3 episodes of just bizarre, almost Twin Peaks-esque like Red Room stuff.
What the fuck? I didn't expect that.
Yeah, there's one episode that's like an entire like dream sequence.
Oh, jeez.
And like you're not sure like what's reality and what's like fake.
Oh god, that's interesting.
All right. Well, thank you for showing me that Michael thing. I think it actually gives me a little bit more hope.
Does it really? Why does it do that?
Because it's interesting and cool.
Yeah.
He looks like a weirdo.
I think the only thing that's really controversial to me about his look is that he has no mask in this image. But like that leaker guy Vuron also said that later in the movie he gets it back like for like the second and third act. So it's like I'm fine with Michael having that for most of the movie and then eventually getting the mask. Like I'm fine with that. And it looks cool and scary, you know.
He has to, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a Star Wars movie if it didn't have a lightsaber. You know?
I just hope, because a lot of dumb people in the Halloween fandom for some reason do not like that the mask is like dirty looking and like old looking. And like so many people are like, he should just go to the store and get a new mask.
Yeah, like they're gonna sell that.
I know, that's what I was saying.
After it happened.
It's so stupid. And it's like, because Michael seems to have shown such an attachment to that specific mask, it would make no sense to like, for him to like go back and like do that store thing again, like break into a store.
Imagine Michael just being completely normal and like going undercover and just buying it.
That's
awesome.
that look that we saw. That's his version of his undercover look. He thinks that's undercover.
Yeah, he's just like, this is normal, right? I just look like a homeless man who like slept in his own shit for 3 days. All right. Well, I think we should get into the movie of this episode.
Something that is actually fun to talk about.
Which is something that I've been telling you to watch, I'm pretty sure, since like 2017 when I first saw it.
Probably, yeah.
And that's One Cut of the Dead, directed by Shinichiro Ueda. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that right. But, I mean, the premise why I was interested is because it holds I want to say it's like a 40-minute one-shot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole, like, gimmick. But, like, that gimmick is expanded on so well.
Mm-hmm.
And we won't go into it until we get into the spoiler talk. But this movie still holds 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It deserves it.
I think it's well deserved. And the crazy, like, I was reading about it, and it was made only on a budget of $25,000. And because of that, all the staff was like amateur and inexperienced.
Oh,
like,
wow.
It was a lot of their first time stuff. But like everyone, I guess, was just so passionate about doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the director has just mostly done like short films. And I think he's like also does like plays and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy because they're like doing something. I don't know if like they broke like a record for like the longest one take in a movie. But they didn't expect it to be like that big of a hit, so it only showed in 2 theaters. But after like insane like good reviews, and people who saw it in those 2 theaters were like sharing it online, and everyone's like, how do I see this movie? They like opened it up to like 200 theaters in Japan and then eventually overseas, and they ended up making $25 million.
Jeez, that's awesome.
So this is like the Japanese equivalent of like Paranormal Activity. Where it's just made on nothing but then rakes in millions.
Right, yeah.
And they did actually make, I was reading a sequel to this.
Oh, yeah, I was going to watch that. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it, but I think it's funny because it's literally called like One Cut of the Dead spin-off. Like, and they're very like blunt about it.
I heard it's just like on YouTube. Like you can just go on YouTube and watch it. Yeah.
I'll watch it. Yeah, because I know it's about his daughter making a movie in Hollywood.
Yeah, I heard it was like made during the pandemic or whatever.
They made 2. One of another one
Really?
was during the pandemic. Yeah.
Oh wow. That's awesome.
And it was pretty wholesome because like I think they made that one during the pandemic. I was reading, the guy was just like, people are bummed out right now, so we just want to like make some fun entertainment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the director said he doesn't even like zombie movies. But he just said it like the genre fit the script really well.
Yeah, honestly.
So they just roll with it.
And I could see I mean, I think even though he doesn't like zombie movies, I could see like he understands what they're about. Like he knows what's good about them, you know. Like, and I think that like lends more credence to his filmmaking ability, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
And I mean, especially if you're doing a one take, I think you have to do things in a lot of creative ways.
Yeah.
Like how they handle the gore, I thought is done really well.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Where they'll like quickly like swap like they'll move to like over to the left and then come back and they replace them with like a dummy, and they're like right when their head gets cut off. So it doesn't feel like fake, you know?
Right. Yeah. They did a lot of smart things with like playing around with the camera and the blocking of it. So like they must have rehearsed it like so many times.
Well,
like, you know,
I did look up. Guess how many takes it took them to do that?
Like I would guess 20.
Only 6.
What? That's insane.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I was watching some of the behind the scenes, and like a lot of the parts where like you know, where like the cameraman like falls down and stuff or someone trips, that was like real. Like there was one point like after the van scene, when they're running through that field and the cameraman just completely eats shit. Yeah, that was actually like not planned.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was so funny because the zombie that was like behind him chasing the girl in front of him like helped him up. And then the guy quickly turned around and recorded. He just went right back into like zombie mode.
Just pure professionalism right there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
But I mean, yeah, you'd have to go through so much prep.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, as an actor, kind of like memorizing all, like, it's one thing to like memorize, you know, your scene, but like an entire 40 minutes worth.
Right? And just having the stamina to do that for 40 minutes is like,
that's what you know, there's a part where the camera actually like falls down like in context of the movie, and there's like that kind of like Dutch angle shot with like the girl fighting the zombie off. That was actually, so the cameraman, they brought him out a tray of water and he just downed like 3 cups of water.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
and then they got back up. But yeah, like that main girl, great. Oh my God, she must have been like tired.
Oh Lord, yeah. I felt bad for her by the end of when she's on the roof, like running.
Yeah.
It was like, gosh, she must have been running for like 40 minutes
running
straight,
and screaming.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and you can tell she was like out of breath by like the final shot.
Oh yeah. She looked exhausted. I would think that's why they had her limp after a certain point, so that it's not as like exhausting for her to like do a full sprint.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's gotta be hard to run knowing that like the camera guy has to like also follow you.
Yeah, right? Oh God. They did a better job with this than the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah.
Because remember there's that running shot of little Leia. And like she's like running so slow, and like everyone else around her has to run with her. It looks like awful.
But it just looks really clumsy.
Yeah, because the little girl, she can't run that fast. So all the adults chasing after her are like doing like half steps.
One of my favorite like running in movies things, I think it was Avengers 2, where there's like a shot of like the big monster or whatever attacking the city, and you have like the heroes and like the civilians are running past them. But one woman is just fucking booking it.
Really?
Yeah. Like, the other people are running, but she was like, vroom, like she was sprinting for her life. And it's so funny. I guarantee if you look up, like, Avengers, like, woman running, you'll find it. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so, I mean, essentially what the one cut part of One Cut of the Dead is, which is like, I would say like the first like 45 something minutes.
Yeah.
It's essentially about these people in this abandoned factory in the middle of nowhere, Japan, who are making a zombie movie, and then zombies actually start attacking. So it's I don't know, this is like a good example for me of like being like meta.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's not, they never do like a wink and a nod to like the audience, but like they're fully aware of like this everything going on. I don't. It just is done so well.
It's done in a intelligent way. It's not done in like a super obvious so many things that are meta like overdo it. Like I think one example for me I think is so annoying now is Deadpool. Where it's like it's just constantly like referencing like this is done in like a subtle I guess way compared to that, and it's a lot smarter that way.
Yeah. It doesn't make the audience feel stupid.
And yeah, you don't feel you're being pandered to.
Yeah. And I think like the second half of the film is like one of the more rewarding things I've seen in any movie. Where I remember the first time, like I was like cheering, like by the end of it, with the pyramid. I was like, yeah, like I was so happy. And it's weird to say like a horror movie is like a feel good movie, but this is genuinely like up there as some of like the most feel good movie stuff.
Yeah, really.
It's like everyone helping everyone, and everyone has problems, but in the end, everyone's kind of using their strengths and weaknesses. And I'm surprised of how fleshed out the characters are.
Oh yeah, the characters are all great. Like I felt like they all felt like real people to me.
Yeah. Especially like the director's motives and stuff.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like I like his slogan, cheap but average.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just everyone, because I mean really when you think about it, this movie is like almost two short films in one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like that. It really is like two completely different movies like in one, but like they both feed into each other really well, and they give like more context to each other.
Because that's my favorite part. There's so many creative decisions during like the one cut where I'm like, oh, this is an odd choice. Like why are we holding on to this? Why are our characters just rambling?
Oh yeah.
Why do we have like a 5-minute scene of just her screaming?
And that's where I heard it was like a horror comedy, like Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, is this supposed to be funny? Like, it's so weird. And it was like I started to like being like, I don't know if I like this movie.
Yeah, but then the second half, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. That was all purposeful.
And it's done like in a really like it's. I don't know if this is. I think we just need to get into spoiler talk.
Yeah, I know. It's really hard to talk about it without talking about the spoiler stuff.
It's hard to say what's great about this movie without spoiling it. That's why I always tell people just go in blind. I just tell them it's a zombie movie.
Right.
I'm like, just go in blind. So if you want to watch it without spoilers, go on Shudder. I want to say that's probably the only place you can see it other than buying it because it is a Shudder original.
Yeah. Oh, and I did want to mention one thing that there's a deal going on right now. I think it's with Shudder as well, but because if you get AMC Plus,
yeah, they're a part of it.
Yeah, they're a part of it, and right now it's 99 cents for 2 months of AMC Plus right now. So if on Amazon Prime, so if you go on your Amazon Prime, you can get that for 99 cents, and then on top of that, you can also watch the final season of Better Call Saul. So
well, look at that.
There you go. You get double whammy there.
We need to clip that and send that to potential sponsorships right there.
Yeah,
you
AMC,
segue that
please
very
sponsor
well.
us. We're gonna have to start sucking up and saying we like The Walking Dead, though.
Oh,
that's gonna be the bad.
Well,
part.
here we can use all my extensive knowledge.
Oh yeah, you've watched a lot of it, haven't you?
I've watched up until this last season that was on TV, and I remember because it was since I moved out, and my parents were like, "Oh, like we got AMC Plus, so you can watch it." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool, I'll watch it," and I haven't. I just don't. I don't even want to. Especially when my parents tell me like, oh yeah, the first couple episodes aren't good, but it gets better. And I'm like, well, I'd rather just watch something consistently good.
Yeah, no kidding. There's a lot more worthwhile TV out there than The Walking Dead at this point.
Yeah, it's a shame, but the comics are good. Read the comics.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, let's get into spoiler talk.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
So spoilers ahead. So basically, this movie, I think what makes it so great is we have the one cut, the 40-something minute shot. And then the rest of the film is the backstory of why it's happening and how they did it. And I mean, honestly, I would have been fine with some kind of like documentary thing of like, oh, this is how we did it. But the fact that they actually tied it into a story.
Right.
And I was thinking of how hard like the script must have been to write.
Oh God, yeah. They probably had to pull a lot from real life and like how they really were doing it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what happened, but it almost seems like the one cut, like especially them talking about like, oh, like the hobbies and interpreting like the self-defense thing that the mom was into.
Oh,
like it almost feels like that was written before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they had to purposely write in goofs and like errors and stuff in the one cut. Just because like, and some of the stuff happens for like funny reasons. Like the guy that gets diarrhea.
Oh yeah.
He was supposed to be because that was one thing when we were watching, because I watched this with Carolina and she's like, what, where's that guy going? What's he doing? And I was like, I don't know. Like I had to play dumb.
I know, and it's interesting because when you're watching that part the first time, you like come up with like different reasons in your head.
Yeah, like oh, he's bit.
Yeah, like in-universe reasons where you're like, oh, he's like scared. He just wants to get out of there. And then
when really poop was just coming out of his butt.
Yeah, he was turtle heading really bad.
Yeah, when he's just like, it's coming out, and he's like, what? He's like, the poop. And then they're doing his makeup while he's like shitting in a bush. And the guy that was like a drunk. Who, when he actually puked on the kid. And he's like, is this real? Is this fake?
Yeah, he's like, what is this?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, there's so many great characters. And I especially like the daughter.
Oh, yeah, she was great. Her actress was awesome. I feel like I've seen her in something before, but I'm not sure.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays the director is really great too.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He's really good at playing kind of like the mediocre dad.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, his job, honestly, if you're like dad's a movie director, that's like awesome. Mm-hmm. You know?
Right.
That's like a cool thing. And I mean, I interpret it as kind of like he's just worked in the industry, so he knows kind of what's expected of him.
Mm-hmm.
Where his daughter isn't, and like the first scene with her, she's getting like fired because she wants this little girl to cry for real. And she's like trying to make this child cry, and the mom's like, no, I think that's okay. Let's just use the fake tear. She's like, ma'am, your daughter's in a battlefield right now.
Yeah, that was great. It's like really funny, like just like if you've ever been in production, like video production, it's like it becomes a lot more relatable that way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure, especially because you see behind the scenes so much of the people like in the van.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, because they just really just introduce this like cast of like wacky and zany characters, all with like bizarre character flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And just throw them in. And I love like in like the one cut where like the director keeps popping out and he's like action and stuff like that. Yeah. And then you see like why he's like popping in all the time. Because he's like trying to fix some other error and he just realizes he's in the shot and he's like, okay, let's go.
Right. My favorite one is when his mom is like going like off the rails, like off script.
Yeah,
and he has
she's
to like
too
pop
dedicated.
in to try to stop her.
Yeah, and they're like holding her down.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was when they were holding on the woman screaming for so long.
yeah.
And there's a point where she even stops screaming and like is questioning, like, should I keep screaming? They're like, yeah, and then she's like, oh, okay, and then just starts screaming again. Yeah, but the fact they like ad-libbed, they had to like he like choked her out.
Right.
Which is something he's clearly done before because he knew what to do.
He knew exactly what
Yeah.
to do.
So they just like put an axe in her head to make it look like she died. And then when she wakes up and she's like, where am I? And then she just screams and like goes down.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was the part when I watched it the first time. I was like, "What the fuck was that? Was that supposed to be funny?" Yeah. And then when it just makes sense. It's a genius movie. It really is.
Yeah,
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is a great. It's already a good zombie movie, and it's probably my favorite movie about movies being made.
Yeah, I get you.
And I like even like the studio behind them, like. And I think that was kind of like to reflect the real world. Like the studio people basically gave this guy like the hardest challenge ever and was just playing it down, you know? Right. Like, don't worry, you got this. No problem. And then after like months of stress, like after the final product, they were like, okay, that's good. Let's go out to eat.
Yeah.
Like they
it was
did
just,
nothing.
Like, yeah, they don't understand like how hard that was at all. I guess they don't even really care.
No, as long as it makes money.
Right? Yeah. Which is unfortunately how that whole thing just reminded me so much of like I worked at a news station for a short time. So it was like, and like the fact that they were like live broadcasting it as well was like it was just so relatable how like you had to like get everybody ready and like make sure everyone was in their spot, and it's like all these things like go wrong that you didn't expect to. You could never really anticipate.
And you got to ad lib like really fast.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so many times where stuff like that has happened. It's just funny. And it especially reminded me of those higher ups like wanting to do something without like knowing like how things actually work. And you just as a underling have to like make it work and like get the show going. It's like it really is like that in the professional world, at least from my experience, you know.
I think everyone, no matter what field, that's how it goes.
Yeah, probably.
Here's this impossible thing that's going to take you like a month to do. Oh, can I get it done tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Thanks. I know. My favorite part is when like the daughter just kind of takes over.
Oh yeah.
And she makes like even the producer guy get involved.
Right.
Like she threw him like one of the crew shirts. And then the final part with the pyramid is just great.
Oh god, yeah. That was like that was a cheer moment for sure.
Yeah. And then like the rest of the movie is just them all smiling and happy that they pulled it off.
It's wholesome. It's a very wholesome movie.
It is a very wholesome movie, and I didn't expect that going in.
No, I thought it was gonna be like dark and depressing, like zombies eating people, you know. Because I heard it was just a horror comedy. I had no idea about the meta aspect of it, really.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, like, people compare it to, like, Shaun of the Dead. So I was like, oh, it'll be like that where there's, like, real zombies in it or whatever. But I just did not expect it to be, like, not supernatural at all.
Yeah. Like,
Really.
there's actually no zombies.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're watching it the first time, you're like, okay, like, you already have the premise of, like, they're making a movie and about zombies and zombies attack. Okay, that's funny. But then they're making a movie about people making a movie about in the movie zombies attack while they're making the movie.
Right?
And they also tie in, like, a whole family dynamic and that whole arc.
And that was all really well done. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. I just loved all the characters in it, especially the daughter. That's what has me interested now that you mentioned that it's her. Yeah. Now the spin-off is about her like doing her own thing.
Yeah, I read the plot. She like moves to Hollywood.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I
she
would definitely watch that.
I think makes her own zombie movie or something like that.
Well, that's awesome.
Because it's called like One Cut of the Dead Goes Hollywood: the spin-off movie. I mean, considering like how low of a budget this took to make, I'm sure they're just perfectly fine with committing that much.
Oh yeah,
Of
and
a
they can
budget
make
to
it
the
for like
others.
$5. Do you know how much money this movie cost to make?
$25,000, I think.
Oh damn, that's like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it made like 25 million.
Damn, so they made bank.
Yeah, so they did good.
They'd be doing good. They made those investors very happy.
Yeah, what probably
If there
little
were
there was.
investors, yeah. Probably family members and stuff.
Yeah, well, I know they approached the director, so someone had the idea for it. I think they just needed someone to actually organize it and put it together.
Oh, okay. That's neat.
Which Japan is still at the top of their game when it comes to horror movies.
It's true. They have some bangers out there.
They do.
Norroy.
Norroy.
I can't think of any others because I have not watched any others. So
I know that was my whole goal of this podcast, is to show you more.
show me more Japanese horror.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost done reading Uzumaki, and then we can do an episode on that,
Oh, okay. Cool.
because Uzumaki's great, and that's another one that's just an absurd idea, kind of like this one, but let's just take it very seriously. Did I ever tell you what Uzumaki's about?
No, I don't think so.
It's essentially this town is cursed by the spiral,
Hmm.
and its residents just become obsessed with the spiral shape,
The hell?
and it's awesome.
It's a
And-
Saw tie-in? It's a Saw spin-off?
No. No. It's more fucked up than Saw.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Probably. Especially the manga has some very haunting imagery.
Is there a movie or show about it?
They made a live action movie,
Oh, okay.
which I saw the movie first because I've never read a Junji Ito, even though I've been meaning to, and I loved the movie. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start reading some Junji.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into that. So now I'm gonna, I think, pick up all of his other mangas and
Yeah.
stuff.
That sounds awesome. What is like the threat in it, really? Or
The spiral.
The spiral? Is it supernatural?
I don't know how to describe it, so I just won't. And
Okay.
I'll let you kind of determine that.
I'm going to assume it's a Saw spin-off, Saw tie-in.
Yeah, it's actually Jigsaw.
Yeah, that's the origin of Jigsaw.
I've went to this small town in Tokyo or in Japan because they are all bad people. They needed to be taught a lesson. You need to cut off your arm or I will kill them all, or I don't know.
That was a terrible impression of the Saw guy.
That was my half-assed version. Because like he's like been doing it so long that he like is kind of running out of ideas. Like you used weed once, I think, like in high school when you were underage. So I don't know, put your hand in this fire for like a couple minutes.
Yeah, now you get to lose your arm or die. Either way.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
my problem with the Saw movies as they went on, is like, because I feel like in the first movie, even the first couple, he had more of like he was like more disciplined with his code or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like later he just will kill people for like no reason at all.
Right.
It's like, and they'll be like following the rules and he'll just kill them anyway. It's like, well, what's the point then?
I mean, yeah, the point was that like, oh, if you do what he says, you get out.
Right.
You know? But I mean, I just think that's a franchise that the first couple had like good twists,
Mhm.
and they were like, okay, now every movie needs a twist. You know? But
Even
And then
if
let's
they're
just-
nonsensical.
let's just fucking kill the guy, but then keep bringing him back.
Oh god, that's my least favorite part in horror franchises in general. Please don't make a movie where you're gonna kill the evil guy if you're just gonna bring him back. Like, what is the point? You know?
Or if you do it like Reanimator and make him come back as just a flying bat head.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Do
yeah,
something
that was
goofy
pretty
with it.
awesome. An incredible movie. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll talk about that eventually.
Yeah, well, I mean, Yeah, we have to watch the Castle Freak cinematic universe, the H.P. Lovecraft universe.
Where we see the triumphant return of Herbert West, the
Yeah.
hero everyone loves.
Oh,
Even though he was very complicated and not a hero at all, really.
no, he was just an insane person.
Yeah, he literally
who was a psychopath. Well, back to One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah, after that tangent.
I think it's safe to say we both absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah, this is a great
And
one.
I'm so happy after all these years you actually watched it and liked it, and it would have been really awkward if you were like, oh, it wasn't that good.
Do you know, I have something to reveal to you. I did start watching it at one point, and then I noved out of it after like the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like years ago. But I didn't realize that it was like, because I was like, oh my God, this is terrible.
You didn't stick it out.
No, and then I was like, oh, yeah, now that watching it, it's like, I understand why it's terrible. The first third of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people should watch this movie if you like zombie movies, and if you're just interested in the technical aspect of it.
Yeah,
because that's another huge feat. Like if you're interested in like movie production or anything, it's interesting for that premise alone.
Oh yeah, I think so too. I think if you are in movie production or have like dabbled in it, I think this will become very relatable to you very quickly after that first third of it is over, and like then you really start to like it's just very relatable and funny. It's very, there's a lot of good characters. It's like there's like nothing to dislike about this movie, really.
Yeah, hey, it's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's true.
The site that has no real meaning or value over the merit of a film, but to hold 100%, that's pretty good.
I don't know. I think it's a good gauge for like whether or not it's worth it to watch something. Usually,
True.
Or it's like but I feel like you could get into the really good stuff when you're like in the 70 or 80% range. Like that's usually where, at least for me, that's the stuff. That's where I find a lot of the stuff that's like is like amazing. Because I know like Blade Runner 2049 is in like the 80%.
Yeah,
I think, but that doesn't say. Not saying like 90%. You can't find anything, because usually there's a lot of great stuff there too, like this movie, which is 100%.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just so rare for a film to get that, you know?
Right? Yeah. No, definitely it is.
The fact that no one saw this movie and was like, I didn't like it.
Did YMS watch this movie?
Yeah, he's just
Did he leave after like the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, he's like, it's a movie within a movie. Not like we haven't seen that one before. The zombies weren't even that good. It didn't even make sense. There was lots of moments where the characters seemed like they didn't know what to do, so they were just rambling on about things like their hobbies. Who cares? I left after 20 minutes. And that's why I'm giving this one a 3 out of 10.
And then I left to go watch the new Minions film.
Yeah. Minions, The Rise of Gru. I showed up in my formal attire, only for the manager to show up and kick me out. I only saw the Illumination logo. That's why I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10.
I just wanted to get you doing the YMS impression on tape.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've ever done it.
No, I love your YMS impression. So
it was.
I think it's so accurate.
It was 2 years of being a film bro. Developed that. Back when I thought only good movies were Pulp Fiction. So,
not saying. I guess Pulp Fiction is a good movie, but you know.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
But there's a specific type of people where if you ask them what like their top 3 favorite movies are, they'll tell you Pulp Fiction, Drive, and The Dark Knight.
It's that type. And Boondock Saints might be in there somewhere too.
Yeah, definitely Boondock. That's like a college guy movie.
It really is. Fight Club as well.
Fight Club's up there. Yeah. And any movie with an anti-hero that has a cool aura around him.
Oh god.
Like Taxi Driver.
Yeah. As much as I love Breaking Bad, I feel like Walter White falls into that category as well.
The new Joker.
Oh god, yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the most film bro movie I think of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know.
I feel like Zack Snyder is a film bro.
Oh no, yeah. Film bros were loving the Snyder cut.
I bet they were.
Like
Those
absolutely
little
loving
creeps.
it. And then they're like, they say that thing where like, that's why I like DC better. It's darker than Marvel. You know, their movies are darker, not just tonally, but visually as well. The Joker is just some twisted guy.
He's some twisted freak. And you know, the part about him that makes him compelling is that he was right all along.
Yeah. I remember I saw on Facebook some guy we went to high school with after like the Joker came out, and he's just like, if anyone has a problem with what Joker did, that they have to answer to me.
What?
And he was like, he had every right to kill those people.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, dude, I think you're not seeing the point. You know?
Yeah, I think he missed the whole point of the movie.
Yeah, it's not that he was right, it's that society was wrong, you know?
Did you call the police on that guy?
I should have.
Put him on a watch list or something?
Yeah, meanwhile, he's just like hugging his like 38 revolver and clown makeup, dancing around his room. All right, well, that's One Cut of the Dead. Watch it on Shudder. Get AMC Plus for 99 cents, and you can watch this film and the various other Shudder originals.
Absolutely.
But seriously, watch this movie. This is for me a safe movie recommendation where I know no matter who I'm talking to, if you recommend this movie, they're gonna like it.
Oh yeah. Even I think, some of the most people who like turn their nose up at art stuff are gonna love this movie.
Yeah.
The characters are really strong, and it's just funny. It's a feel good movie, oddly enough, which we don't review a lot of those.
No, usually it's feel bad movies.
Oh yeah.
Movies that make you want to cry in the shower.
Yeah.
There have been several movies I watched where I needed to take a shower after because I'm like, oh, I feel dirty.
Oh god, yeah. That's
But
every
those-
Lars von Trier movie for me.
Yeah. That's
Except
fair.
Melancholia. That's the only one where I don't feel like I need to take a shower.
Yeah, Melancholia just makes you feel like you need to be on Prozac
Yeah.
or something. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Go watch One Cut of the Dead, and we'll see you next time.